As the cost of dialysis for the patient. Now, those aged between 18 and 59 have made a passionate appeal for their inclusion in the free renal services initiated by the National Health Insurance Authority. The NHI announced free renal dialysis sessions to patients over 60 years and those below 18. However, adults between the ages of 18 and 59 find themselves excluded as they are directed to be enrolled twice a month, compelling many to resort to out-of-pocket payment when seeking treatment. According to them, they currently bear substantial financial burden due to exclusion from this essential health coverage. There is more in this report by my colleague Nana Boache-Yadom.
Patients at the Ofori-Atta Teaching Hospital's renal units were asked to make payment for their dialysis treatment depending on the type of services required. This is concerning as it contradicts the NHIA's directive to commence a 6-month free dialysis support program for NHIS card-bearing renal patients below 18 and those above 60 years. This situation has left some patients worried.
Well, what's your condition? Tell us.
My condition is, as you see, I'm on dialysis. If you are to come in, you will see, because it was formerly here, and then here, normally, and then you see how it is. So if I'm hoping that I can be relieved.
Now, the requirements for you to get it as a free treatment is one, you should be above 60 years, and then you should have the NHIS card. Are you above 60 and do you have the NHIS card?
I have it.
You have it, and how old are you?
I'm 68 years old.
68 years?
68 years.
Now tell us, since you came here and then you are paying it yourself, contrary to what is out there, the directive of the NHIA, what are your words to government and the NHIA itself? Because right now, you're making the payment despite the directive they've issued.
Yeah, I'm making the payment because there was no, directive that I shouldn't pay. I came here, I asked them, they said, yes, we have to pay because they have not received any directives that I shouldn't pay.
So what would you say to government and the authorities since they've made this directive?
Well, I said to the government, what they said was good, but then what I've paid, they have to pay my money back to me.
You're asking them to pay your money back to you?
Yeah, they have to pay my money back to me.
Because some of the persons we ediaba easy.
It's difficult to get money to pay for the dialysis treatment. Our helpers are even tired. We plead with the government and the NHIA to help us, just as they indicated. But management of the hospital says they are prepared to roll out the initiative. However, an official communication must be made to the hospital by the Ministry of Health, hence the delay. Dr. Yao Oparelabi is Deputy Medical Director at KATH.
We are ready. We are ready to roll out. What we are only waiting for is, because we work under the Ministry of Health, anytime we are going to embark on any activity, we need to receive directives. We need to receive directives from the Ministry of Health because we work under the Ministry of Health. So before we commit our resources to this very important activity, we just need to receive, all we are waiting for is to just receive a directive that go ahead, start, and these are the modalities for operation and so on. No, we are going to start a service. We are going to use what we call consumables. The consumables are the things that we use, the liquid we use, the tubes and so on, which you finish and you have to discard. All those cost money. So we need to also recoup the money. And we know that the money is already been made available for the age brackets that have been described in the NHI CEO's his address when he mentioned the package. Yes, so we are ready, and all we are waiting is for the Ministry of Health we work under to just give us the green light to go ahead. And usually we want to also, they communicate with us through documents, so that's all we are waiting for.
Well, since the NHIA issued a directive to have some free dialysis treatment for kidney patients, a number of them have been trooping into the Ofori-Atta Teaching Hospital's renal unit to have their dialysis treatment. But contrary to what is out there, these patients would have to make payment for their dialysis treatment. Well, the payment for this treatment here at the Ofori-Atta Teaching Hospital is a little above 500 Ghana cedis. They are asking government and authorities of the NHIA to intervene. For Joe News, my name is Akufo-Addo. Kumase.
Meanwhile, earlier today, management of the Ofori-Atta Teaching Hospital held an emergency meeting with top hospital administrators to discuss lingering challenges surrounding the delivery of the free renal service announced by the Health Insurance Authority. Although the hospital has received official communication from the Ministry of Health and the NHIA, the hospital says several factors impede the seamless implementation of the program. My colleague Nana Akufo-Addo was at the hospital and joins us with details. Nana, first off, what are some of these issues that came up? Nana, I'm trying to find out from you. I mean, since you monitored this particular emergency meeting, what were some of the issues that came up at this meeting? So we understand that the hospital held an emergency meeting today to deliberate on the challenges that confront the implementation of the decision by the NHIA to absorb payment of the dialysis cost for patients between 18 and below and also above 60 years. And Akufo-Addo is back. He monitored this particular meeting, and I'm grateful for joining us. What were some of the issues that came up at this meeting?
Well, Kojo, some of the major issues that came up today during the emergency meeting between top management of the Ofori-Atta Teaching Hospital are some financial concerns being raised by the renal unit of the teaching hospital. Now, we've been told that there has to be some pre-finance issues that has to be dealt with regards to the rollout of the free renal services for kidney patients. And so for the hospital to be able to continue with this initiative, they have to consider their financial status. We triggered this emergency meeting today between top managers of the Ofori-Atta Teaching Hospital. Now, they are concerned about the consumables and other things, other machines that contribute to the delivery of dialysis for these kidney patients. And all these require money. And so if they have to do anything pre-finance, the hospital would have to consider its financial status, which was a major thing or a major factor which came up today during the emergency meeting that was held between management and then staff of the renal unit, including the deputy director and then the director himself of the hospital's services. Well, the meeting did end successfully with the hospital concluding to begin the rollout of the free renal service for these kidney patients.
Of course, once the meeting ended conclusively, there should be some expectation by these parents you spoke to. What were these expectations that they shared with you?
So these patients who came in from Monday expected to undergo free renal services or dialysis treatment. Now they came in from Monday with nothing, Tuesday nothing, Wednesday nothing, and even today, this morning when we went to the hospital, they had to make payment themselves. They have to do out-of-pocket payments, contrary to what is out there or the directive being given by the National Health Insurance Authority. And so a lot of them were disturbed, particularly those we interacted with at the hospital's renal unit this morning. They had hopes of getting the payments done by the NHIA, but then they had to make payment themselves, which raised some concerns. They shared their sentiments with us, pleading on government and authorities to intervene and do just as they have directed the hospitals to do. We did ask them about their concerns with regards to what the hospital said, that is making pre-finance. And so they have to make a determination with regards to their financial status. The patients also told us that should be considered mainly by the NHIA, so as to say that when they do come on Monday or in subsequent days, they would not have to make payments themselves.
All right, Nana, thanks for the updates that you've given us. So that's the update coming in from the Akufo-Addo Teaching Hospital there. Now, accident and emergency medical situations requiring blood transfusion keep getting considerably higher at the Akufo-Addo Teaching Hospital in Kumasi. Owing to this, blood unit equivalent to 80 people are used daily to cater for emergency cases needing blood transfusion from the blood bank, stressing and causing blood inadequacy. The bank, the transfusing medicine unit at the hospital, is underscoring the urgency of restocking the bank with regular blood donations from the public.
Blood donation is a voluntary act of giving blood to be used to save the life of another person who might be known to you or not. With an average blood transfusion requiring about 3 units, patients needing blood transfusion may be suffering from emergencies including serious injuries from accidents and natural disasters. Making a blood donation uses about 1 pint, after which your body can replace all the cells and fluids that have been lost. The Akufo-Addo Teaching Hospital uses an average of 80 units, equivalent to 80 people a day, and further supplies other health facilities, enforcing more pressure on its blood bank. Head of the transfusion medicine unit at the hospital, Dr. Leslie Osei, says the bank needs critical restocking to save more lives.
Blood is something that we cannot manufacture. We get it from human beings. Even though we've lived for so long, we've gone to space, we still cannot manufacture blood. So that is why we need to stock the blood bank. For instance, in Ofori-Atta, we use an average of 80 units a day. That is 8 people's blood a day. At each point in time, you have to have at least 8. It's not always possible, but to say that we do have 0, no, it doesn't happen. But we always have to make sure that we replenish and then stock the blood bank.
Dr. Leslie was speaking at a blood donation event organized at the Calvary Charismatic Center in Kumasi in celebration of the 68th birthday of the founder and senior pastor of CCC, Ransford Obeng. The intervention, instituted by the senior pastor, aims to assemble Christian worshippers of CCC and the general public to donate their blood to hospital banks to save lives. According to Pastor Ransford Obeng, people with influence need to assist the needy.
In my life, I've never gone to hospital that they said you are short of blood, so you need that. But for the fact that the Lord has been good to me, I should use that influence that I have to help people who will need blood, and especially those in leadership, that we should use our influence to help people, to mobilize people so that we can do work of service for people who are in need. So I am proud to do this, and I'll continue doing it so long as God gives me life.
Some donors also spoke to Joy News.
This is one of the ways I bet me abwa nipa pi.
Reporting for Joy News, my name is Clinton Yabwa.
Now, over 13% of Ghana's population suffer from some form of psychiatric illness. A study by the Akufo-Addo Teaching Hospital has revealed mental cases in the country are seeing a rise owing to habitual craving for gambling and abuse of illicit drugs by young people. Experts are admonishing young people to open up about their addictions as a step towards being mentally relieved. Clinton Yabwa has more in the following report.
Gambling and betting among the youth in contemporary Ghana have been identified as means of coping with social economic challenges and as a form of leisure, but they are also a recipe for mental trauma. Gamblers and substance abusers experience noticeable obsessions that lead them into a state of despair. A study from the Akufo-Addo Teaching Hospital has ascertained the growing trend. Professor Pinaman Apeu is the chief executive of the Mental Health Authority.
Our youth face increasing rates of depression, anxiety, substance abuse, behavioral addictions such as gambling, and attempted suicides. For instance, one study, which was led by a psychiatrist from the Akufo-Addo Teaching Hospital, involving 5,024 children aged between 8 and 17 years from 3 regions in Ghana, showed that 3.1% are engaged in gambling activities. This, ladies and gentlemen, is worrying.
Breaking the silence, a phrase championed in the Mental Health Awareness Month, connotes people opening up about their issues that alter their correct thoughts and behavior. Wife of the Asante Hene, Lady Julia Oseitu, partnered the KNUST, Ofori-Atta Teaching Hospital, and Eve Medical Foundation to upstage a public engagement session on mental health dubbed "It is okay to influence positive responses to mental health issues." Meanwhile, the head of the psychiatric department at KATH, Dr. Ruth Owusu-Ntwi, is decrying the inadequate mental health experts in the country.
Year by year, as we read our performance review, we realize that new cases we are seeing are going up. It's not a bad thing. It's probably because people are becoming aware and coming in. It's sad to say that there are just about 70 psychiatrists to over 30 million Ghanaians. If we don't take care, the psychiatrists themselves will break down. And so we want to appeal to the government to help us train more people, all cadre of mental health professionals, from psychiatrists, mental health nurses, psychologists, social workers, occupational therapists, all cadre of mental health professionals. We want the government to support the training institutions, to churn out many of them so that they can support the many Ghanaians.
In the midst of rising cases, the forum offered education to students on better understanding of mental health issues and appropriate quarters to seek help. Vice-Chancellor of KNUST, Professor Rita Akusia-Dixon, urged students and young people to speak up about mental health issues.
We must, it's a must, volunteer to be advocates for mental health. So the month of May will end, but you and I must continue to be the voice of the voiceless. We must continue to break the silence. It's okay to admit that there are issues.
Reporting for Joy News, my name is Clinton Yeboah.
Away from the health sector, let's take you to energy, where the Energy Commission has kicked off the 5th Senior High Schools Renewable Energy Challenge with a regional competition. The event, held under the theme Application of Renewable Energy Technologies in Solving Land Degradation and Water Pollution, seeks to inspire innovation solutions among students to address environmental issues. There is more in the following report.
In an impressive display of innovation and commitment to renewable energy, 9 schools from the various districts in the Western region secured their spots in the highly anticipated 2024 Renewable Energy Challenge for senior high schools. The competition fiercely competed among the 9 schools, showing their innovation prowess, saw the Hunterman girls crowned the winner at the end of the competition with 87 points, followed by Takwa Senior High School with 81.3 points, and St. John's School taking the 3rd position with 75.7 points.
Responsible for the absorption of cadmium. So here is it. Listen. The barrier to collect any cell particle which are heavy. So the first.
Aligned with the objectives of the Renewable Energy Act, the Energy Commission has been proactive in promoting the use of renewable energy resources and technologies in Ghana. Speaking at the event, Executive Secretary Engineer Oscar Amano Nazia emphasized the importance of renewable energy in combating climate change and fostering sustainable practices.
Indeed, it has been a great success where we've been able to get the students to apply their theory into practical, innovative ideas and projects, for which reason the main spirit behind this program or project is to get the students to use local materials in coming out with innovative projects to solve practical issues in our nation, Ghana. So in 2022, we had 1 school winning the competition, and then they came out with a solar dehydrator using local products and coming out with a project we call the solar dehydrator. Yet last year, we got another school coming up with what we call the Farmer's Friend, which has a multiple function in terms of harvesting, in terms of sowing, in terms of watering the seedlings,
Efia Kwesiminti Municipal Education Director Catherine Baini, speaking on behalf of the Ghana Education Service in the Western region, says the renewable energy challenge has extremely benefited the GES.
And you can attest to the fact that when you are doing something, you own it and it becomes part and parcel of you. And that you make sure that you see it being infected in your small area. So we are benefiting. So GES, we are benefiting. It is helping us to fulfill our goal, which is competency in the in the common core that we have rolled out, and also it will equip our learners to become the learners more sick than today.
The Energy Commission's collaboration with the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research aims to commercialize students' projects, ensuring the long-term sustainability of these innovative solutions. Students have seized the opportunity to drive meaningful change and build on a greener future for Ghana. For Joy News, in Ofori-Atta, Kwanza, Western Region.
A research fellow at the Center for Democratic Development, CDD, Kwame Sapon-Asiedu, has called for a crackdown on excesses of religious leaders in Ghana. According to Kwame Sapon-Asiedu, the excesses in religious activities need to be checked to prevent the exploitation of citizens. He made the observation while speaking at Joy News' public lecture to deliberate on solutions for challenges facing the country. We'll hear from him shortly, but first, here's a wrap put together by my colleague James Aveji.
Looking beyond the Fourth Republic towards nation building, the case for citizen mindset revolution. That is the theme that assembled thought leaders and ordinary citizens alike on the latest Joy News public lecture, speaking on the subject on how Ghana can chart a new path through its challenges. Management consultant Akufo-Addo first established that the problems of the country is not about the competence of our leaders.
Is incompetence the cause of corruption? Is it incompetence when successive governments reward themselves with ex gratia payments, V8s, all manner of allowances, while 60% of citizens languish in poverty, barely able to afford a meal a day? Is it incompetence that causes our leaders to watch people die at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital's dialysis unit due to an unpaid bill of 4 million Ghana cedis? No. I hesitate to lay these behaviors and actions at the door of incompetence alone. Frankly, what masquerades as incompetence is a much more sinister and insidious problem which needs to be called by its name, the mindset of our leaders.
She said one of Ghana's current problems of illegal mining can only be resolved if the youth step up to confront the menace.
America's Central Intelligence Agency puts the worth of Ghana's unmined minerals based on prices prevailing on the world market at $10 trillion. Assuming the estimate of 10 trillion to be true, each of the 34.5 million Ghanaians' share of the unmined minerals equates to approximately $290,000. Yes, their one share in this one asset class has that value. This, in a country where the majority is unlikely to handle even $50,000 in their lifetime, is a travesty indeed. So, citizens, knowing the value of your one share in this single asset class, will you continue to sit idly by and watch successive governments plunder and mismanage your wealth? I surely hope not.
Another major issue confronting Ghana's economy is the continuous depreciation of the Ghana cedi against major international currencies. Managing partner at AB and David law firm David Ofosu-Dorte said the Bank of Ghana's current approach to resolving the problem is wrong.
What is the purpose of monetary policy increases if it doesn't reduce inflation? And I've said this, I've tweeted this. It takes boldness for somebody to reverse an economic policy which is not working. I say, as an example, that monetary policy increases has never solved inflation in this country. If it had, you can't increase monetary policy rates 5 to 6 times and inflation is still going up. China and Turkey did the opposite by reducing monetary policy rate And it took people like Larry Summers to actually say that is the right policy. And China's inflation started trending down.
But how frustrating these challenges to the ordinary Ghanaian, and how bad do they desire a change?
Council of State is sitting down, will not talk to the president. Christian Council is watching. Islamic Council is watching. And they cannot call the president to the order.
Akufo-Addo said the best solution to all of these challenges is a total change of mindset, self-consciousness, starting from a reform to Ghana's educational structure.
At the national level, the mindset revolution can begin with the following: launching a national citizens orientation program; 2, developing a national identity; 3, decolonizing our educational curricula; 4, building language cohesion; 5, investing in youth development; 6, establishing and maintaining a national asset register; 7, prioritizing health education; 8, addressing religious exploitation; 9, addressing pollution; and 10, reprising the role of town council officers.
All stakeholders and audiences in the end agreed that citizens must take responsibility, take front seat in the discourse for development, and spark change in every corner they find themselves with a renewed mindset. James Savaji, Joy News.
Now, speaking on the role of religious bodies to solving challenges, Kwame Sapasiadu said the excesses must be checked first.
Read a lot of books, and if you read Lee Kuan Yew, even Kagame now, and you read Dao Xiaoping, you realize that they acknowledge that faith, and I'm deviating from it, faith has a role in national development. But faith cannot be equated to religion. The problem is we have religiosity in this country, not the practice of religion or faith. And a lot of the religious leaders are exploiting this religiosity to our decadence. And we have become so scared of their very side that you hear a man of God or an imam and you are shaking as though hell thunder hit you. But they are supposed to be our servants, not to lord it over us. And in countries that have succeeded, they have managed to clamp down on these excesses in religion. If you go to Rwanda now, you know that you need a degree to be a religious leader. And when he started, people said he couldn't do it, and he's done it. China doesn't have any recognized religions up to this day. Singapore, similar thing. You can practice your religion, but that would not be ahead of the national identity. In this country, we have partisan politics first, religion second, and anything else third. What sort of mindset is that? I think it's diabolical, if you ask me. So religion needs to be clamped down upon. I know it's unpalatable to say it, and I know I'll get a lot of backlash for saying it, but I repeat it. Religion has to be severely clamped down if we want to develop this nation.
Very thought-provoking issues there, and I guess that the discussion will continue wherever we are in the interest of Mother Ghana. This is still the Joy News Prime. We'll take a break. We'll be back with more. Please do stay. Welcome back from the break there. Now, should the NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama make his way back to the Jubilee House, the creative arts industry will have a budgetary allocation for the upkeep of aged and struggling entertainers. The flag bearer made the promise during the interaction with industry players at a policy dialogue series in Accra. The following report has more.
The former president shared how he personally had to support some aged entertainers whose lives have been characterized by financial struggles and poor health. John Mahama said this is one of the reasons why he will make provision in the budget for the creative arts industry in his next government. Mr. Mahama believes enforcing the copyright laws to protect their intellectual property will contribute to ensuring their financial independence.
Every quarter, I have to provide for some very indigent, creative actors of the past who even find it difficult to buy their medications and to put food on the table. We need to change that narrative. And I believe that government must put money into the creative arts. But I can assure you that we will make provision in the budget for the creative arts.
Players in the creative arts industry took turns to vent their frustrations at successive governments' seeming neglect of the sector. Stakeholders are of the view the sector has the capacity to generate millions of cedis for the economy if taken seriously. They urged the NDC flag bearer to provide the needed support for the sector should he win the election.
Who can tell me the value of Netflix? It was $279 billion. What is the value of Ghana? What was the GDP of Ghana in 2023? It means Netflix can buy Ghana. You see, when God loves you, he makes you a creative person to continue the things he has created. But over here, the reverse is the case. Just like Sammy was saying, you cannot walk in the street chest out to call yourself a creative person because we die paupers.
As industry practitioners, we are not able to live up to our responsibilities. It is very disheartening. And now some of us are not even able to face our families and tell them that we belong to the creative industry. Because when meetings are taking place and you are seen, it's like that nobody is around.
The event is part of the NDC Flag Bearers Policy Dialogue Series with the various sector players to solicit ideas to include in its 2024 manifesto.
The government has enhanced the monitoring and regulatory duties of the Minerals Commission in the Eastern region by commissioning a state-of-the-art office complex to serve the Birim Central Municipality and its adjoining areas. Speaking at the inauguration ceremony, the Lands and Natural Resources Minister disclosed that constructing a well-equipped office is part of the government's agenda to decentralize and bring the operations of the Minerals Commission closer to the mining operators and communities. Kovisian reports.
According to the Lands and Natural Resources Minister, the construction of the modern office for the Akufo-Addo Minerals Commission is further evidence of the Akufo-Addo administration's commitment to revitalizing the mining sector by promoting sustainable and environmentally sound mining practices. He noted that the office would enable the Minerals Commission to conduct effective supervision in Akufo-Addo and its surrounding areas. The minister announced that under the Akufo-Addo administration, the operations of the Minerals Commission have expanded significantly with the construction of 4 new district offices, 12 satellite offices, and 2 observatory offices.
The government of President Akufo-Addo is not against small-scale mining. After revamping community mining schemes, introducing the mercury-free gold processing equipment known as the gold catcher, rolling out online applications for mineral rights, and instituting the Small-Scale Miners Award Scheme, if there is still any doubt about the President's commitment to promoting sustainable small-scale mining industry, these infrastructure projects should do away with that doubt. His commitment and that of his government is to implement eco-friendly mining techniques that minimize environmental impact and ensure the long-term health of our ecosystems, build strong relationships with local communities and traditional leaders, provide employment opportunities, and as I can imagine, this edifice is going to create a lot of employment opportunities for the people of Akufo-Addo and contribute to local development projects and local economies. As I can imagine again, that this building will promote the local economy of Akufo-Addo.
He assured the area of the imminent launch of the community mining scheme, stating that the construction of the office has paved way for the creation of the community mining concession. He acknowledged the Member of Parliament for the area, Alexander Kwasi-Akwa, for his assertive role in realizing the offices, promising the concession will soon be announced.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Member of Parliament, Honorable Alexander Kwasi-Akwa, has been knocking on my doors all the time, insisting that Akufo-Addo deserves a community mining scheme. And I'm here to report to him, Honorable Member of Parliament and Deputy Minister for Health, that I will assure you that very soon Akufo-Addo will have a community mining scheme.
Board chairperson of the Minerals Commission, Barbara Otinjesi, stated that the president tasked the commission to streamline mining, especially small-scale mining, to benefit every Ghanaian and protect the environment, hence the expansion of its offices.
His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo told us that he wants to regularize mining in such a way that we will all benefit from it as Ghanaians, and also ensure the protection of our environment. To ensure that this can be done, we were mandated to expand our offices across the country to draw closer to the mining companies, especially our small-scale mining companies, to effectively monitor their activities to ensure we protect our forest reserves and our river bodies.
Ofori-Atta Dr. Frimpong Manso IV, the paramount chief of the Achim Kotoku traditional area, expressed his delight at the impending arrival of the community mining scheme and praised the lands minister for fulfilling the request of the MP and the residents.
Now, the Forestry Commission in the Ashanti region is set to distribute and plant 2.5 million seedlings at various communities and forest covers in the region as the country readies itself for this year's Green Ghana. Now, the region has in the past 3 years of the annual exercise planted 14 million to reclaim 222 hectares of degraded lands, of which, according to the Commission, majority has seen great survival rate. There's more in this report by Joseph Obeng Retiu.
The lands and forest reserves in the Ashanti region continue to suffer the impacts of illegal mining, which is eroding the once beautiful tree canopy. Recent data indicates that Ghana lost 110,000 hectares of natural forest by 2023, emitting 76.3 million tons of carbon dioxide. The government launched the Green Ghana Day 4 years ago to reclaim degraded forest cover and arable farmlands. About 41 million trees have since been planted following the commencement of the annual tree planting exercise. According to the Ashanti Regional Manager for the Forestry Commission, Clement Amo-Omari, the region is set for this year's planting exercise with an expected 2.5 million seedlings to be planted.
We are ready, and all the seedlings are available. We have started distributing them to individuals, communities, and organizations. In the region, we are expected to plant about 2.5 million seedlings, and that is our target, but we hope to exceed it.
Meanwhile, the region has planted 14 million trees since the project started. Mr. Amo-Omari also revealed that 75% of trees planted in 2023 have survived.
The sources, okay, it's encouraging. When you look at our previous planting for the past 3 years, 3 years ago, we have done a lot. Even nationwide, we've planted about 41,000 seedlings. In Ashanti region too, we have planted almost 14 million seedlings for the past 3 years. Whereas survival rate per assessment that we've done over the last year planting is around 75%. And when you realize that you've gotten more than 70%, then you're okay. You don't need to fill the gap.
He is entreating the public to participate in this year's exercise to safeguard the environment and restore the global climate.
Tomorrow is the D-Day. I need my media men, at least all of you, to plant one tree. one person plant one or even more. Everybody should get on board in our plant to let our country become green, so that whatever that we want or we aspire to get, for example, beautifying our environment, mitigation of this climate effect on us will also become a thing of the
Joseph
past.
Obin's report for Joy News.
All right, welcome back to the showbiz segment. Becky Beggs is in the house with more. Hi, Becky. How are you?
Hello to you, Brace. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Well, this evening, let's talk about the Deputy Minister of Tourism and Arts and Culture, Akufo-Addo, has said that the government has started a process of initiating tax waivers for filmmakers in Ghana. He made this announcement while addressing the press on Thursday at the launch of the second edition of the Africa Cinema Summit in Accra. This development is in line with the recent promise made by the presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party to provide tax incentives for the creative sector if he wins power in the next elections.
Film, I always say, is an important material. I don't know if I can use the word good. That economically we all know what we get from film. But there's a soft side to film that I like and I often talk about. Most people talk about the money that it brings, tax, all of that. My side that I often see in film is the documentation. For a country that does not have a lot of data, film is one of the ways to give data. Juliet Asante and her team forwarded the document to us that they wanted a tax waiver for the film industry. It's gone to cabinet, it's gone to AG's office. AG has replied, asking some questions. I'm just coming from Parliament. So we are discussing. But unfortunately, when it comes to governance issues, things that the private sector could do in weeks, with public service, it could take months. And so I just want you to know that your sister, your auntie, your mother is working hard to make sure that there's some relief for filmmakers. At the same time, I'm sure you are monitoring the airways. The opposition is saying that we are giving too many tax waivers to people. Last week was about one of the biggest stories in Ghana, to the extent that Majority Leader even had a press conference on it. So I pray that the industry will show interest. It is not only a Juliet Asante conversation. When you get the opportunity, as industry practitioners, support the advocacy. So it doesn't become like, oh, she works for government, it's government. So, because I'm not sure she will be the beneficiary of even this. It is the industry that will benefit. So everybody should join. Before you go and hear that, they say, oh, as for the film people, take their waiver out. We're still pushing to get it for you.
Akufo-Addo there. Let's move away from that. Let's talk about Sister Ifya. She was on Hit FM this weekend. She's been talking about two things, which is her song with Amrado, and she's been talking about Amrado's work ethics, you know, and so that's Sister Ifya telling us all about how great Amrado is as a musician.
Amrado is my G. My Jeep, one person like they be a catcher and say he's one of the and yes, I go for bad, but he's one of the persons I'm Menina Yejuma Meniaji. Okona hu ye adwuma no.
Right.
You know, and he means business. Inti Emma spirits ne wonyo no. I don't know how to say it, but the work ethic is very top.
Did he write the song?
Yes,
he wrote it.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, right there. But Brace, before we go, I know that a lot of us are in love, and some of us will get our hearts broken eventually.
Yeah, it's part of it, you know.
It's part of life.
Either you are breaking someone's heart or someone is breaking yours.
So however it goes, I mean, it's a weekend. Don't drink too much. I put together flashback, Friday tunes for those of us who will eventually get our hearts broken. This is for you. We're not trying to break your heart, but I see it coming. I see it.
Oh, God.
Please brush your teeth with Pepsodent. Eventually, when you get your heart broken.
Yeah, of course. Because
and please log on to myjoyonline.com. That's where you find all the news. And please stay with us because Emma will be here to give you all the juicy news in the world of business,
why are you trying to look at me again? You've done it all, so
I'm looking at you because you look like, Brace is tired, we're all tired, but we will see you next week for another thrilling edition of Joy News Prime. We're always here for you, baby.
Yeah, thanks for being a part of us throughout the week.
Don't drink and drive, just be safe.
Okay.